Good morning, children. Today we will start with the third phase of national movement. The period from 1919 to 1947 is known as the era of Gandhi or Gandhian era because of Gandhi's marvelous work in the political field, and he assumed the leadership of Indian National Congress. Let's begin with the lesson The National Movement 1919 to 1934. Under this, we will study about the non-cooperation movement and civil disobedience movement. Let's study about the causes that led to the launching of the non-cooperation movement in 1920. The first cause, the Rowlatt Act 1919. The Rowlatt Act was passed by the British government in March 1919. Two bills were introduced by Justice Rowlatt in the Central Legislature in February 1919, which came to be known as the Black Bills. The Act was passed to suppress the national movement. The Act gave enormous power to the police to search a place and to arrest any person they disapproved of without a warrant. The well-known description of the Rowlatt Act was no daleel, no vakeel, no appeal. That is, no pleas, no lawyers, and no appeal was to be made. The Jallianwala Bagh tragedy. Amritsar observed Hartal on 6th April with complete peace. On 10th April, two prominent leaders, Dr. Satyapal and Dr. Saifuddin Kichlu, were arrested and sent to some unknown place. On 11th April, General Dyer took the command of the city. Proclamations were issued prohibiting all public meetings and processions. On 13th April 1919, a public meeting took place at Jallianwala Bagh in defiance of the orders. General Dyer, without any warning, opened fire upon the peaceful crowd and continued firing on them until all his ammunition was exhausted. As the news of Jallianwala Bagh massacre spread, crowds took to the streets in many parts of the country to protest against this cruel act of General Dyer. The Khilafat movement. The peace treaty of 1919 imposed severe terms upon the Sultan of Turkey, the Caliph or the Khalifa. The Ottoman Empire collapsed. Turkey lost all territories inhabited by the peoples other than the Turks. The Sultan was deprived of his real authority. All this angered the Muslims in India. A Khilafat committee was formed under the leadership of Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali, commonly known as Ali brothers. The program of the Khilafat movement was resignation from the government services, boycott of councils, refusal to pay taxes, and refusal to join the army. The Khilafat movement contributed to a sense of national unity. Gandhiji saw this as an opportunity of uniting the Hindus and the Muslims and to launch his non-cooperation campaign against the government. Meaning of the movement. Non-cooperation meant not to cooperate with the government. Gandhiji asked people not to assist the foreign government to rule over them. A special session of the Congress was held at Kolkata on 4th September 1920 and accepted Gandhi's plan for non-cooperating with the British government till their demands were fulfilled. A resolution of non-cooperation movement was finally passed by the Congress at Nagpur in December 1920. Program of the non-cooperation movement. The non-cooperation movement launched by Gandhiji had two kinds of programs, negative and positive. The negative aspect of the program was to boycott the legislative councils, boycott of the law courts by the lawyers, the boycott of government schools and colleges, boycott of British goods, surrender of titles and honorary posts. The positive program of the movement was First, the Hindu-Muslim unity, removal of untouchability, promotion of Swadeshi, prohibition of intoxicating drinks, suspension of the non-cooperation movement. The Chauri Chaura incident occurred in 1922 when the non-cooperation movement was at its peak. On February 5, 1922, a clash took place at Chauri Chaura in Uttar Pradesh in which 22 policemen were burnt alive. Gandhiji was greatly shocked and he suspended the non-cooperation movement. He realized that the country was not yet ready for a non-violent struggle. Impact of the movement. The movement provided a great national base to the Congress organization. Gandhiji evolved a program which could mobilize the masses in the national movement. The movement undermined the power and prestige of the British government as it created an anti-British feeling in the country. Repression failed to crush the spirit and courage of the people as it made people bold and patriotic. Gandhi was determined to emancipate the poor and the oppressed. Removal of untouchability and promotion of khadi became the essential tools of Gandhi in his struggle against the British rule. The movement set the scene for Hindu-Muslim unity. The weapons of satyagraha and non-cooperation changed the character of the Congress overnight as it was no longer a deliberative assembly but an organized fighting force pledged to revolution. Children, we will continue with the lesson in the next lecture. Till then, thank you and stay blessed.